Hello, everyone. Welcome to another webcast in the Iconics Transform Your Business webcast series. Today's webcast is Explore Real Use Cases in Augmented Reality. Today we'll learn new ways to interact with processes. My name's Amanda Gordon. I'm the Senior Marketing Programs Manager here at Iconics. And before I talk about our presenters today and turn things over to them, I'd like to go over a few housekeeping rules. Right now on the webcast, you are in a listen-only mode. That means if you have any questions at any time throughout the webcast, please type them into the questions section of your GoToWebinar panel. And at the end, we will take those questions. You can also email us at any time at webcast@iconics.com, and we can get back to you offline. With that, I'm now going to introduce you to our two presenters for today's webcast. Today, we have Roberto Penso, who's a Regional Solutions Manager in our Genoa, Italy office. We also have Vojta Kressel, who's the CTO and located in our Czech office. And with that, I'll turn things over first to Roberto to get us started today.
Thank you very much, Amanda, and thank you very much, everybody, to attend this webcast from myself as well. So let's go over a very quick agenda for today. I'm going to be introducing, for those of you that do not know Iconics, a little bit about the company. We're going to be talking about understanding what augmented reality really is, which devices and which location services are today available. We are going to be seeing what augmented reality means within the Iconics products suite. And then we'll have Vojta Kressel from our Czech office do a demo for us. So without further ado, let's go and describe a little bit about Iconics. Iconics is a Mitsubishi Electric company. Our headquarters is in Foxborough, Massachusetts. And the company has started since 1986. We are present in more than 100 countries with a wide network of more than 400 partners. And as of today, we have more than 375,000 installations worldwide. Iconics is a very long time Microsoft partner, and 6-time winner of the Partner of the Year award. There's many different sectors and businesses where our solution are actually used and installed, and many of them are now enabling the digital transformation technology and solution. Now let's see some of them here. One is, for example, automotive. Then we are present for building automation, oil and gas. There's several applications done in the government and the military. Manufacturing, of course, is one of the most important type of applications. Food and beverage, utilities, energy, transportations, especially airports, metro system, and so on. Materials like a cement industry and mining, pharmaceutical, sustainability, and also water and wastewater. Now let's go and take a look and try to understand, first of all, what is the concept about augmented reality. First of all, we do have 3 different type of reality. We have the virtual reality, which is a completely virtual world environment. You have a physical movement which are limited, but you are totally isolated. So you don't have any type of interaction with the outside world. Then we have the augmented reality, which is one of the parts we will be focusing on today. And the augmented reality means basically overlaying data on top of what you can physically and really see today, and is often used on mobile devices. It's a very simple and light integration. It doesn't require much from a very deep technological point of view. And then we have the mixed reality. So is something that you have superimposed on your visualization on your devices, and it basically makes seamlessly a real and digital world. Is you act with this as you'll be natural interaction, and you can use any room, any surface, any type of device that you would like to. Now, let's see what the definition of augmented reality really is. Um, within Wikipedia, they say, quite extensively, is an interactive experience of a real-world environment. The objects that reside in the real world are enhanced by computer-generated information. So that's basically what it comes down to. In other words, the augmented reality is the real world with the integration of computer-generated 2D, 3D visualization, voice, or any other type of inputs. A little bit together with the augmented reality, there is the today's concept about a digital twin. So creating a digital copy of what we are seeing right now and integrating this copy, adding some more data to it, including dynamic behavior, monitor and control, and then that can also be used as training in case you don't have the real physical equipment directly in front of you. Now let's see which devices and which services are available today in order to take full advantage of this concept about augmented reality. We do have mostly wearable devices such as glasses, smartwatches, headset, lens, and tablets, mobiles, devices, anything you can think about. A headset like RealWear, HoloLens, and virtual reality headsets like some that we can use into the video game industry. And then we have the location services. That's very important because with the augmented reality, one main information is to understand where we are and what we are currently facing. So we do have the ability to set the GPS position, NFC, near field communication, OCR codes, QR codes, barcodes. So all these things will really help us identifying where we are and what we're looking at. And as well, there's a new technology called beacons, so Bluetooth low energy toolkit, which also gives us the opportunity to be located, to understand where we are. Now let's see what we can do once we have been located and which things we can do while we are there at the place where we want. We can open a display, for example. We can switch an alarm subscription or visualize historical data. We can navigate through a web page, switch aliases or languages, stream video device, like if we would have a remote expert together with us. So any type of triggerable command can be associated with our position. Now let's go and see a little bit some examples of this. As you can see, in this way, I can connect remote workers and I can give them really an expert guidance. I can assist them with complex tasks, but I can also use this as a very important training opportunity, because then I can guide my new employee to better understand or better replace a spare part or a broken part, anything you might like. And this, of course, will have the possibility to mix real-time analytics and historical visualization together with the real-time data. As you can see here on the right-hand side on the picture, so you can see some examples of this. I can just use a tablet with a camera, taking a snapshot of that robot I'm looking at, and then superimpose the live data or even commands for this device. or the same as the expert guidance on the middle picture, where the system is telling me what the electrical wiring details are for that panel. And the last one is really mixing new informations on top of what I'm seeing right now. Now let's see how in Iconics we do manage augmented reality. We do it in several different flavors. And the first one is we do it within an application which many of you might be familiar with, at least those that know the Iconics products, which is called the mobile HMI. So mobile HMI is a software that can be installed on any type of wearable device or any type of mobile device, tablets, smartphones, real wear devices, smart glasses, smart watches, I mean, you name it. You can access also device hardware with mobile HMI, meaning that you can connect it to video camera, GPS location, understanding what is the status of each single piece of equipment that you might have. And you can execute commands with mobile HMI based on location. So I can read the OCR, barcode, QR codes, beacons, scan NFC, and then I can also provide the video streaming, and that can be done over geographical position and information as well, recognizing the object I'm looking at. If you remember the picture that we have just seen a few seconds ago, that was a little bit of that example. So I was recognizing that robot, and I was then visualizing information related to it. And together, I can also do that reading an OCR or a barcode. We do have also a product called Connected Field Service for Connected Field Workers, which is called the CFS Works. This allows us to track workers in the field, understanding where they are and what they are currently working on right now. Is monitoring their status, if they are available to take some call or they are currently moving between sites and so on. And then we can, of course, assign them new work orders in case there is something that needs immediate attention. The augmented reality features on this is the ability to collect the device status remotely, and also the ability to communicate with a real expert by both audio and or video. Let's say that I'm in front of a device or in front of a pipe or a valve or something, and I'm not exactly expert or familiar with that type of device, and I can always ask for somebody's help, or maybe even if I'm a maintenance person or an expert person, and then I want to guide my customer to do something on my behalf just because he's on the other side of the planet, and for some operations it might not be worth it to go there in person. I can visualize 2D or 3D screenshots or video streaming, and as we also said before, we can reference it also geographically. Now let's take a little deeper look on what this can really mean for us, can really allow us. We are going to be using an example of applications that we have done with a device called RealWear, from a company called RealWear. And it's basically just a little monitor that is sticking out from a headset. So this will give us the opportunity to visualize information regarding the asset we're looking at right now. On this device, nothing else than mobile HMI is physically installed, so it's very simple and straightforward. Now, this is what I can see directly with my eye. And then I can operate this via voice commands. So I can say, I want to call an expert. And then I can, the system will call the expert. We will wait the expert to join. Here he is. Then we can say mute microphone or hang the call or share a screenshot just to interact full way with him. What he sees on the other side, he sees an application where he's capable to follow exactly what we're doing and what we're looking at. So after he logs in, he's going to be able to exactly do all these type of operations. So he can accept incoming calls, push notifications. He can click on the notifications showing the expert application. And in this way, we accepted it. And he can also interact with what we see directly on our in front of us. So he can circle exactly where is the, for example, handle for the set point, what we should touch and what we should not change. So there is a very optimized way to communicate, so nobody really loses contact with reality and with what's going on right now. Another level of augmented reality is available in Genesis 64, our SCADA product, and in also IoT Works, which is our Internet of Things solution. We can execute server-side commands and remote expert server-side applications as well, such as alarms. We can have augmented reality in using the Universal Windows Platform technology within the graphical interface on Genesis products. And we also have a new feature called the Voice HMI, which will give us the opportunity to interact with voice, with a new type of devices such as Alexa, Cortana, Google Assistant, and so on. On mobile HMI, we can have also setups and set points. We can interact with CFS works, also with applications for wayfinding, integration with the remote experts as we were seeing before. New are also these visualizations based on KPIs and aggregated data, which are available on Watch HMI, which is specifically targeted towards smartwatches, and the KPI Works, which is our KPI light dashboard application. And these can be recalled automatically by location, by QR code, or by any type of location services that we have seen before. New opportunity now is the integration of 3D visualization and applications within the mobile HMI itself. As you can understand, the visualization experience and the navigation experience will be dramatically enhanced. So we can really get full contact with what the external world is. And this is available standalone as a dedicated app, or there is a toolkit to build our own custom apps. So as a standalone app, we can bring 3D models from standards, position them in a 3D space, and connect this with the Genesis 64 data. If we want to realize a custom app, we have an augmented reality toolkit, which will give us the opportunity to create and integrate content, for example, in a Unity 3D environment. Unity 3D is a platform which allows us to create very advanced graphical and video games applications and solutions. We can import these 3D models from GraphWorks or other compatible software and platforms connected with the live data. And we can build this application to be compatible with more than 28 platforms which do support actually Unity 3D technology. This is a little description and drill down about what we just talked about. We have our objects with the dynamics as a specific standard format, which is compatible with the Unity 3D, and mobile HMI, which is compliant with this technology as well. We can use this shared across multiple different devices. We can blend this into a single object, and then we can deliver this object and this result to many different type of devices, including also holograms available into smart glasses like Microsoft HoloLens or other type of tablet devices. So without further ado, I would like to switch to my colleague, Vojta Kersel, which will give us a demo about what we just described. From my behalf, I would like to thank you for attending this, and I'll switch it to Vojta.
Okay, thank you, Roberto. And let me make myself presenter. I will show my screen. So you should be able to see a screen with the R server application. And actually this application is very nice. It allows to project what I have on my iPad. So right now I'm rotating the iPad to show you it's a live projection. And I'm using iPad because many things of augmented reality work well with the devices. So this is what we want to show today. So first thing to start with, I will start this application on the iPad. You see that on the screen. And we call this application Mobile HMI. You can download that from the Apple Store. And the application allows to connect to the visualizations which are stored on the server. So you can see at the bottom corner, there is the list of servers you can add by the plus sign in the corner, the others. If you are okay with the default server, you can just press connect. And by the way, the application is fully responsive, so it works the same way on the mobiles as well. So now I am starting my mobile HMI application. First thing I see is a set of tiles. These tiles are actually the displays or project behinds. You have a lot of ways how to organize your projects. Again, it's a fully responsive. I could rotate that. Now in normal case, I could go click one of these tiles and open a QR code. Sorry, I'll open the application, but since we have the augmented reality session, I will show you how you can actually use the QR code to open one of the displays. So I have put the QR code on the screen as well. You can see it, and I will just do long tap and select from the menu the last line, scan QR code. And with that, I have got my camera turned on. And as soon as on the screen, I will scan the QR code, which was there, I got the action recognized, and it asked me if I want to confirm that. So yes, I can say open the main display. And I have brought a visualization on the screen. I can fully interact with that, like I can start the fan and stop that, or I can open the damper. What is nice on this kind of displays, the exact same displays would work with the RealWear device, with the exception you don't need the touch screen, but you will be able to use your audio, speak to the screen instead of pressing the buttons by fingers like I do on the tablet. And perhaps we can bring another QR code on the screen. And this one will go to another view. This one goes to statistics. So instead of using this button, I can scan the QR code again using this scan QR code, scan code button, or by being on RealWear saying that, I would say scan code, and with that, the camera gets activated again and it opens the statistics. It was pointed already to the screen, so it was instant. Did not really show anything between. Of course, I can use the buttons as well. So I can press the button, navigate to the main screen. You can combine this with the manual. So one button can go to another screen. Different button can bring the operational manual on the iPad. So the operators, workers have everything at hand. And with that, I would switch to next application. And the next application would do very similar thing, but again, from the QR code, we call this application KPI Works. You have a choice if you download this application from the Android store, Apple store, again, for the typical devices, or if you run that directly in the browser. So again, you have the server here to which you can connect, and on the iPad, I'm going to press the connect button, which starts KPI Works on the tablet. You can see it on the screen. I can rotate that again, it's fully responsive. KPI Works is self-service dashboard. It allows me to, for example, select one of these signals and bring them on the screen. And if I want some visual look to that, I can select one of these gauges. There was a presentation where KPI Works was explained quite deeply, so I would suggest take a look at the recorded webinars we've done previously. What I want to show in this session is that I can actually, either use the menu again and switch to some other displays like this one, or I can use the button in the corner and use the scan QR code again. So I will open QR code on my screen. You can see it already, and press the scan QR code button, by which I get the camera again. And I will go slowly. So when the whole QR code is in the view, KPI Works downloads the related dashboard. Now you are able to do the analysis of the data which are related to that. I can actually make this application full screen as well, so you can see it better. We have a possibility to do the selection of the filters, and we can also go to the history, on the filters, or like this one, we can clear them. KPI Works is a self-service dashboard. It allows to quickly bring on real-time data. It allows to combine that with alarms, history data, and you can do also the analysis on the BI data. Very nice app. What is common for both of these applications is that I used one of the location services, and we call the action you can do with that location services. Let me make the application smaller again a little bit, and I will show you where you configure that stuff. So I will switch to my configuration environment. We call it Workbench, and Workbench allows us to configure basically everything we have in Genesis 64. So we can configure here the assets in the Asset Works database. We can configure data connectivity, alarms, historical data, and of course also the augmented reality, which is in mobile HMI. And we have a possibility to define the layouts we have seen previously. And then at the bottom, we have the actual augmented reality actions, and we can bind them to the commands. So very quickly, here we have the possibilities. We can scan QR code or select GPS location from the device, or we can use NFC chip, which could be scanned by the devices. And we can also use new video beacons and barcodes. So there is a lot of choices, and when the location action is recognized, it can be bound to a command. So typical usage is to load a URL like we are doing here, and we can say which display we would like to load, and we can select from many other commands. There is an easy way. We go back to QR codes, in particular, how to specify what should be loaded. So we simply say the name of the action, and it gets hard-coded into the QR code. So you can see if I will add some more letters, like hello to that, the QR code on the right side gets automatically modified to contain this text. And we can print that, or we can save that, and then it's possible, to put that at the machine or into the room which you enter, and this way you can very quickly create the precise navigation, how to access the visualization displays or dashboards related to that particular room or equipment. There is another application which we have for the devices. It's this application. We call that so far native application for devices, smart native app. And this app is written natively for the smartphones and tablets. Again, it's fully responsive. I could rotate that. What we are looking at here is some assets coming from the AssetWorks database for the bottling line. And we can interact with these icons by pressing them. You can see that the filler, I can turn it on off. I will do that so you see, the change the screen, or I can modify the labeler, the third icon. And here for the robotic arm, we had a demo on the last SPS and Hanover show. We will probably repeat that again, so you are welcome to visit us there. This was for the robotic arm, and we can get by long tap actually screen where we have sliders. We could modify the rotations of the robot arms, and there was a real robot serving beers, and we were using that. So why I'm showing this application? Besides, it's a very easy way how to show the assets, because all you have to do is to define the AssetWorks structure in that workbench configurator, and you select the icons, and that's it. Then the icons can appear automatically. What is important is that these assets representing the real stuff are assigned to a beacon. Beacon is a Bluetooth technology which is used for finding the locations. And by assigning the assets on the screen under a particular beacon, we are able to get these assets on the screen. So this app runs currently in the simulated mode, because with the headset it's not that easy to run around the building and go from room to room for other assets. So I will just simulate that. But what I can do is to turn off the automated locking, which is a code which looks for the nearest beacon. And I can simulate to selecting some other beacons around me, for example, this one, and now I have switched to meeting room. And we can take a look at that. We can rotate the screen again, and perhaps I can switch to another beacon, maybe the small meeting room. So you can see it's a fully responsive app. It works very quickly or very fast on the smartphones, iPhones as well. We can adapt this application for the Android devices too. It's the general technology which allows that. So with this app, it's possible to control the equipment. I could go and turn the light in the room on. I can go to the window and use more detailed menu, and by pressing the button, put the automatic blinds on or off in the room, or I can quickly switch that. And the configuration of that is very easy. Okay, so that was quickly the smart mobile or smart mobile application, the native app for the devices. And the next demo for that, I will use Safari, and it runs the web visualization. We call it Web HMI in the browser. So what you are looking at on the screen right now is a Safari running on the iPad, which is projected to the screen, which you see. And on this app, I can use the buttons to switch the screen, or I could use the QR codes like I did before. But what's the core of this demo is this call expert application. So for this one, I will also bring the expert on the screen. You can see that I have here the Firefox browser with the remote expert. I will connect it and I will fill in the login name and password. And now the expert application here is ready for the call from the worker. So once again, what's on the left side of the screen is the worker tablet. And what's on the right side is somewhere remote on the internet is the expert waiting for the call. And what we can do is press the call expert button. And as we do, I hear in my headset a call is coming. There is also the notification appearing, and I can accept this call. So with that one, I could enable permanently to always enable that, but I wanted to show you these options. In the same way, I will enable the camera on my iPad. And you can see me actually because we already turned the expert camera. So hello, everybody. So I'm going to enable on my iPad. Now you can see it. I will enable the camera as well. And I will turn off the sound because this application allows to connect the expert and the worker both with the video and with the voice. So for a second, you probably heard that there was a mixing sound because I am now playing both the expert and the worker. So I have used the camera of the iPad looking at a device I have on the screen. I could move this device around. It's a real view we have. And what the expert can do in his application is to freeze at any time he decides to. So they can talk about the equipment and do the annotation on top of that. So the default option is to do some selection. We are currently using the Waco device we are looking at. And by pressing this green button, I have just sent the annotation to the other side. And now the technician with the iPad sees actually the changes on his screen, and he can discuss with the expert what's the problem and interactively find out what's wrong. So there are other drawing techniques, like I could probably select this piece here and explain to the worker that he should probably switch that one, and I can use a text here and send him some text like hello, for example. Maybe switch to drawing and see something to check on this part of the equipment. So you get an idea. We have this simple user interface for selecting the colors and selecting the things you can do with that. It's very easy. When you do not want to be in this annotation mode, you press this button. When you want to hang up the call completely, you just press the red button on the screen in the browser application, and this hangs the call. Okay, so I can grab back my iPad. So this was the remote expert feature. We are shipping that with connected field worker, but it is also available in the mobile HMI. It's available on the RealWear device as well. So even if you have the device which is operated completely by voice commands, you can use that with the remote expert feature. And I will switch to my last demo here. And for this one, I can switch this app to the full screen. So now you can see it's still the iPad, it still rotates. And we will start on that our augmented reality application. It's created in the Unity engine. You can see the application is showing a building here. So let me start the demo, and I will start with the 3D view. So what we are looking at is a 3D model, which we have prepared in the 3D software. I think we use Blender here, and we imported that into Unity. And we are able to connect that with Genesis data we are able to interact with this model. I can, zoom it. I can do the rotation on the screen and make it a little bigger. I can also interact with the model. So I can say, I would like to see maybe the evacuation plan, and it can show me how many floors there are, what is number of people or percentage of the occupation, so until it's 0. This is something we are preparing as the demo. We can also do the other interaction, like hiding walls from the building and take a closer look. We can even take out the whole surroundings. So this is one way how to view the stuff on the screen. And the other one is to switch to augmented reality mode. And in that case, we actually get the model in front of us, and we can place it somewhere in the room. So I just put it on this chair. And what is possible now is I go around with my iPad, and I can see, a different view of the building, like you are really there. So let's look from the top at this tall building. This is, by the way, the Mitsubishi elevator testing building. They created this one just to test their elevators there. Very nice. And again, I am able to interact with this building, so I can say my view and the same evacuation plan and perhaps hide the walls, and we can take a closer look how the building looks inside. So that was a quick introduction to the new app we will come with in the next version. If you need the super fast 3D with augmented reality features, with a 3D features which should work on the iPads, phones, iPhones, Android devices, and also Microsoft HoloLens and HoloLens 2. This is the fastest way, but you can bring to these devices also our standard desktop visualization, as I have show you in the previous demos. So with that, I would like to thank you, and we can switch back.
Thank you very much for that informative presentation. Let me switch to my screen here and show you my conclusion slides. Okay, and now I'd like to talk to you about the Iconics Worldwide Customer Summit Transform 360. We recently rescheduled this in-person event to May 4th through 7th, 2021 at Foxwoods Resort and Casino in Connecticut. If you already signed up for the event and you'd signed up for the previous dates, we've just moved your registration already to the new dates, so no action needed on your part. If you haven't already signed up, I encourage you to do so. This event is going to be bigger and better in 2021. We have a number of exciting guest speakers lined up, as well as compelling demos to show you. If you register by April 19th, you can do so at iconics.com/transform360. We have a number of promotions that we put up on our social media pages from time to time, including complimentary registration promo codes. So I encourage you to follow us on social so you can see those and sign up. I really hope to see you all there at this live in-person event. I'd also like to share with you a number of on-demand webcast recordings that we have available at iconics.com/webcast. If you've enjoyed today's webcast, you can see the other topics that we have covered this year. And not only do we have these North American webcasts, but we also have a number of international versions as well. And while I'm taking the questions today, I'll leave this slide up here. We have our presenters' contact information, as well as a number of our solution sales specialists in our North American and international offices, whom you can contact if you want personal demos or any further information. And with that, I will begin taking our questions. All right, so the first question, Roberto, you can take this one. On which OS can we install mobile HMI?
Okay, mobile HMI can be basically installed on any type of operating system, a mobile operating system. So is available for Android devices, is available for iOS devices. As a matter of fact, if you go to the Google Play Store, or if you go to the iOS store, you can download a demo version of mobile HMI, which will actually give you full sets of features and will connect you with a demo site.
Thank you, Roberto. Next question will be for Vojta. Can we scan OCR, barcode, QR codes from smartphone and pass this value on process point on GraphWorks? Not
Yes,
sure. Okay.
this is possible. And actually, we had also a real application which was using the barcode scanner and sending the barcodes to the application. So it is possible to do that also with the other inputs.
Thank you. I'll give this next one to Roberto. Is AR available in Genesis 64 10.95?
It is available to some extent, meaning that, for example, what you have seen during the presentation, during the demo about the QR codes, scan, and so on, those are absolutely available since 1095, although the remote expert interaction and the full 3D support interaction, as you have seen, are available from 1096.
Thank you. Next question, Vojta. Is it possible to control by using KPI works like Genesis Thin Client?
It is. It's a very good question. KPI Works comes in free mode if you use that for read only. And in that case, it can show the real-time data, databases, alarms, and so on. And if there is the proper license, it can also have the write mode. And in that case, it's possible to bring there the buttons or other controls and use them to do the actual control from KPI Works. And to prepare these visual controls, symbols for KPI Works, we did not mention that, but if anything more complicated is needed, we have GraphWorks where these symbols could be prepared and simply imported to KPI Works and be used there.
Okay, thank you. Roberto, what smart watches do you support?
In this moment, we do support the Apple Watch, but we do already have plans to support other type of smartwatches.
If I can comment also,
Go
excuse
ahead.
me, we have actually two applications running on the Apple Watch today. It is the Watch HMI, which allows to show the dashboards, which could be prepared in KPI Works and be then watched on the Apple Watch. And the second supported application is a complementary app to the smart native app I have shown, the one with the icons. So those icons which appeared on the iPad in the corner on the phone, it will be over the display. They appear one by one on the Apple Watch, but you can also press the buttons and controls from there. So another possibility, like to interact with the Genesis over the internet from the devices. Thank you.
Thank you for elaborating, Vojta. Roberto, what are some example use cases for augmented reality versus mixed reality, and why would you use one over the other?
That's a good question. I would, the use cases definitely I see them as augmented reality really in the field, used in the field, especially when it comes down to remote expert type of applications, where you can basically, superimpose data with the reality. So you still see what the reality around you, what the environment around you really is. As far as the mixed reality, I would use it more for prototyping or for trainings, where it is not really mandatory to have a direct contact with the field, but it's okay to have one single point of view from smart glasses, for example. That would be the major difference I see them.
Thank you, Roberto. And I'm going to give Vojta one last question, but before I do, I get this question all the time. I have a couple people asking about the recording. You will get a link to the recording of this webcast one day. So on Monday, you will get the link to the recording in your email. And again, all of the recordings are available on the webcast page, so iconics.com/webcast. And with that, Vojta, I'm going to direct this last question over to you. How and when does Iconics software support geofencing?
Okay, very good question. We are working on the geofencing and it's coming in our nearest release, which will be version 10.96.2 of Genesis. And we are planning there for the end of this summer. So something we can use for the customer summit. And the support for geofencing will include a possibility to use smartphones or special dedicated devices like the wake devices and others to collect the GPS positions and compare these positions against defined geofence zones. And if it happens that somebody entered or left the zone, there will be an alarm shown. And of course, it's possible to optionally log the GPS position in the historian, and it's possibility to do the analysis and bring the results to KPI Works or to our other visualization environments we have.
All right, thanks very much, Vojta. And I'd like to thank Roberto and Vojta for presenting today. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to join us on today's webcast. Truly hope to see you on a future Iconics webcast. Please register for more today at iconics.com/webcast. Thank you, everyone.